Welcome back. We are going to start with the basics and cover the importance of proactive communication. This is essential because as the business owner, it is your responsibility to make sure that you are managing the customer's expectations and that you are proactively reaching out to them to make sure that you are on the same page. It is never the client's responsibility to reach out to you. You need to proactively reach out to them and make sure that you're good through every step of the process. Now I have four. Do you guys like how I'm doing this? I have four basic rules or suggestions that I want you to follow for this proactive communication. And number one is that I want you to realize that there is no such thing as too much communication. You can never over communicate. I have had as many as 150 individual email responses back and forth to brides when we're trying to finalize the details of her wedding day look. Now, hopefully all of your clients won't require this much back and forth because that would be quite expensive for you to do. But from time to time, for your very high-end clients or people who are investing a lot of money in something that you're giving, you will need to have that extra detail and that extra level of communication. And I also think that this is especially important for an online e-commerce based store. Because if you think about it, with a regular purchase that you make from a retailer, somebody has a physical address that they know is there, and if they're not happy with the product, they can just come back in and return it. They have a place that they can go to. But when you're doing business online, you don't have this built-in guarantee. The fear in the back of the customer's head is always that you're going to run off with their money. And it's a valid fear, right? So you have to go above and beyond to make sure that you are proactively communicating with the customer. You can communicate via emails, you can communicate via text, phone calls. Photos are another really great way, especially for creative handmade businesses or something where you're doing a commissioned piece. Send photos of the progress or take a short video of the product along the way and send it to the customer to get their feedback. At that point, they're able to make changes if needed, tell you what they like, tell you what they don't like. Also, make sure to send an email after somebody makes a purchase with you. It doesn't have to be a boring thank you for your business sort of email. You can jazz it up a little bit by adding little bits about your business and about how they are supporting a small business and what makes their product unique. You can make it more interesting than just the standard canned responses that you see a lot of times. Okay, so that was number one, no such thing as too much communication. Number two is I want you to have policies in place. Shop policies are essential to building trust because, once again, people have this fear that you're going to run off with their money. But if you have policies in place, you're able to answer a lot of the questions that people have, like what happens if I don't like the piece that I bought from you? How do returns work? How do exchanges work? How do I care for this product? If it's a custom piece of jewelry, how do I care for this piece? You need to answer some of these common concerns that people are already thinking about in your policy. This really is a great way to build trust with your clients. Okay, number three, I really want you to be prompt in your responses. I am going to give you a rule of thumb that might seem unachievable, but I promise you it is achievable. Try your best to respond to customers within 1 to 2 hours of their inquiry if they're sending it to you within normal business hours, sometime between 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, Monday through Saturday, whatever your business hours are. This is totally possible, and once again, it builds that trust because they realize that their message is important to you, that you value it, that you are jumping on it to make sure that their questions are answered. This is a great way to build trust. I also think you might be thinking, I can't do this. If I have to stop every time a customer sends me a message, I'm not going to get anything done. Well, you can set up systems in place that help you with this. So for example, on my Facebook page, I have an autoresponder set up that automatically replies to anyone who has an inquiry. And it says, thank you for your message. I want to let you know that I received it, I got it, and I will get back to you within 24 hours or something. And I make sure to respond within that time frame that I've given them. You can also set this up, like sometimes I'll be on a business buying trip, or maybe I'll be with my family, and I'm just not at a place where I can go into depth and respond in detail to a customer. So say a customer reaches out to me on Etsy, which is an online platform. You can just have a canned response that's 1 or 2 sentences that says, hey Jessica, I got your message. I want to let you know that I got it. I'm not in my studio right now, but I'm going to get back to you within such and such a time frame. So that way you're letting them know that you got it. You're taking the pressure off yourself. You're buying yourself some more time, and you're letting them know that you're going to take a closer look at it later. Number 4, and this is my final tip that seems like an obvious one, but it is something that you can always improve. You are in charge of managing your customers' expectations. And this starts from the moment that they see your website or the moment that they hear about you, all the way past to when they order something from you and they're wearing it or they have questions. It's managing the customer expectations is throughout this whole process. And I can't emphasize how important that is. You can't get inside of your customer's head. There are so many times when I want to, but you can't. So if you're sensing that you're on a different page somehow, then it's important for you to call that out until you can figure out and make sure that you are both on the same page. This comes up a lot in regards to budget. For custom work, brides will want to commission a custom veil that is really elaborate, and they'll say they want beading and Swarovski crystals and French lace, and they want everything. They want genuine pearls, and they need it all within a $200 budget. And it is up to me to then respond to the client by saying, I can make you something beautiful within $200 budget. We will have to simplify it a bit to keep it within that budget, but I will work with you to make sure that it's something beautiful and elaborate and one of a kind. So this comes up a lot in regards to money and budget, and it's important to manage these expectations on the front end before you've invested a lot of time going back and forth with a person, because if they have expectations where you're not going to be able to fulfill those expectations, it's better to figure that out sooner rather than later. So to sum everything up, this lesson we talked about the importance of proactive communication, and the points were, number 1, there is no such thing as too much communication. Number 2, set firm shop policies. And even if you have policies in place right now, take 5 minutes, go through them, make sure that they're all up to date and they're accurate. It's worth that time. Number 3, be prompt in your responses. Always get back to customers, hopefully within 1 to 2 hours. But if you can't, let them know. And number 4, manage your customer expectations. All right, thank you.